What's going on, Ben? How you doing, brother? Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just going to give a minute or two to let some people get in, and then we're going to have to cruise through this because I did this week one, and I started at like 1:30, and it was, or 10:30 was not enough time. So I'm just going to go through. It's not going to be as in-depth as we did week one. Week two, I was not here. I apologize because of my 24-hour stream. Obviously, I did play, but I did not have time to go over any of my plays or anything that I was on. So, what's up, Sean? How you been, brother? I'm going to share this out real quick in the Discord. See if we can get a couple more people in here, and then we'll get going. How's baseball been for you? Actually, Sean, how's football been for you? DFS so far. Been all right? Do you, what would your thoughts be about, if I start doing, you suck at football? What would your thoughts be if we, I'm thinking about starting to do some, like I could do it through like a stream app, get a platform set. You could like call in through like Skype or something if you got a camera, and we could do some like back and forth stuff. It'd be pretty cool. Like our takes, our thoughts, some different things that I'm thinking about in brewing, so... Let me just get this shared real quick, and then we're going to get rolling here, guys. Sorry. All right. Possibly. Cool, yeah. I mean, do you have a, yeah, I know. Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, NFL, I mean, you have to, GPP, and that's what we're talking about. I mean, you're going to have chalky plays, right? Most GPP lineups, I mean, if you look at what's his face that won the million, he had some very chalky plays in his lineup. I mean, you have to roll with some chalk when you're doing this. And one thing I want to point out real quick too, is there may be people that watch this later or whatever. What I tend to do, my own personal thing, and I do this in football, I do this in baseball, and it's actually been helping out quite a bit. When I build my lineups, my cash lineup, I actually play in like 3-mans. So whether it's a $2, $5 3-man, I play in like 3-man tournaments, and that seemed to be helping the bankroll and whatnot. I mean, again, you're still in a tournament, but like a 3-man or even doing the head-to-heads, you know. But that's something to look at. I think some people kind of veer away. They always look, especially if they're newer, they always look at, ooh, I can win $1 million if I get first place. It's almost impossible to do. I mean, you can do it. It can happen, but the chances of it happen are very, 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 very slim. You're going up against a ton of people. Do I put lineups in those tournaments? Absolutely. But again, if you're trying to balance that bankroll, if you're trying to not have to deposit money all the time, like you should play some cash. I mean, most guys will tell you do have to get some cash lineups in there, which are going to be pretty much, chalk across your whole lineup. Where in a GPP, especially with NFL, guys like Zeke, guys like McCaffrey, those guys are guys that you want to try to fit in your lineups today, and you can try to get cute and try to go different. Technically, every lineup I build for NFL has 3 running backs because the 2 running back spots in the flex, I'm always going to play a running back in the flex position. And I'm going to try to focus on a running back that's number 1 at home and number 2 has the catch pass ability. He's not just a handoff guy, so he has that ability to actually catch passes. So, what's up, Jay Davis? I am going with Josh Allen. I'm very heavy on Josh Allen. So we'll just talk about my quarterbacks that I like today. Obviously, you can go Mahomes. You can go Lamar Jackson. The problem is you're going to pay up for them. Now, a lot of people in football like to always talk weather, and I used to be a guy like that too. Like, the weather's not good, the weather's bad, the weather sucks, the weather's this. In a game like this with Patty Mahomes, with Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes doesn't give 2 craps about what the weather is like. he is still going to put up numbers. He's still going to get the touchdowns. He's still going to throw the ball. He's not going to let wind or rain or any of that stuff affect him. And also another thing to take is most stadiums eliminate, even if it's outdoors, eliminate a lot of that weather condition, right? Because if it's windy, most stadiums they're not completely wide open, right? Yes, you do have some wind factors, but at the end of the day, it's not going to affect it enough. So that a lot of times pushes some people away when they're in a prime spot or in a great spot. Obviously, the point totals are one of the highest. So again, the dollar, you're going to pay for it though. $9,200, $8,500, you're going to pay for it. Is the upside, is the ceiling there? Absolutely. So in GPPs, again, what we're looking for is guys that have that high ceiling ability, right? Where they're gonna have a career game, or they're gonna have a close career game, or they're gonna, that's what it takes. And to win or take down a GPP, like to get $1 million or whatever, you basically need pretty much every single position you fill in your lineup to have a ceiling day. So it's trying to put those pieces together. It's trying to build that lineup structure to get a lineup like that. Now a cash lineup, like Sean says, he plays mostly GPP. I play a lot of GPP too, but I play cash as well. In a cash lineup, you're looking to build guys that have a safe floor. So when we say floor, we mean they're consistently going to get X amount of points. And in football, especially running back, it's one of the easiest positions to usually project and get on. Now, quarterback, receiver, tight end, defense, like I say all the time, defense, honestly, any defense can get a pick six. Any defense can come out and shut down an offense. I mean, guys, look at the Buffalo Bills against the Vikings last year. The Josh Allen coming out party. That was not expected. That was not in the books. That was not anything you would see or read. And look what happened. Josh Allen, he had his coming out party, right? He had his I'm here and I can play and I'm good at quarterback type game. So any of that stuff can happen. But at running back, and that's why when you see ownership projections and you see things, running back, always you're going to see a higher owner percentage than you are quarterbacks, because people get different and get cute in the quarterback. People get different and get cute in the receivers. Obviously, people go over value as well. And we'll talk about value today as well. There's a lot of value in the receiver position. So again, Patty Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, I'm fine with it. I do have a lineup. I think I have one lineup with both of, each one of them in it out of the 15 lineups I have playing today. Dak Prescott, you can go after it. Obviously, it's one of the highest point spread. What are they favored by? 23 points, I think. And a lot of people also say this. They're favored so much, or they're favored by so many points. Dak's not gonna be throwing the ball, or he's not gonna be doing anything in the third quarter or the fourth quarter, or whatever. Well, guys, if they're up by so many points that it doesn't matter anymore, you can bet that more than likely Dak Prescott's had a good day. Now, is he going to have a ceiling day when the game's not going to be as competitive or as close as that? I would say the chances are probably slimmer to none that he's going to actually have a high ceiling day. That's my own personal opinion, because the game, more than likely, from what we see and what Vegas is telling us and everything else, is not going to be anywhere near close. Now, could Miami show up and out of nowhere? I mean, it could happen, but chances are slim to none. A guy I do like today, Deshaun Watson against the Chargers. Let's see where his ownership. Let's see. They got him right now projected at about just under 4%. That'll probably move up a little bit. But 4%, where you're seeing like right here, you got Dak as the highest owned, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, which is another guy I'll talk about that I like, Mahomes, and then obviously Winston, Josh Allen, who I love. But Deshaun Watson, I mean, this could be a type game. I love Will Fuller, which we'll talk about, receiver as well. This could be a game that you could kind of go, you could stack each side. You could go Watson, you could go Fuller, you could go Keenan Allen, you could go Eckler. Okay, so Deshaun Watson is a guy that I do have on my radar that I do like today, and I think with guys like Fuller, obviously you got D Hop there as well, but you're going to pay up for him. People are going to go after him more than they are Will Fuller. So Watson could be a guy to look at. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going after today. I have him in 0 lineups. Now, is that going to come back and bite me in the butt like it usually does? Probably, because he'll probably go and throw 3 or 4 touchdowns today and have an awesome day. What about Prescott? Yeah, so again, Hartman, like I just said about Prescott, I think he's fine. I think he's going to have a great day, but we're talking about GPPs here. So we're trying to find players or guys that are going to have that ceiling game, which is like the most points they can score. And between Ezekiel Elliott probably having the fair share in this game and being up, Prescott's probably not going to reach that ceiling game. He's going to have a great game, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Prescott's a bad play. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we need to differentiate ourselves from a guy that's in a great position that's probably going to have a good day to a player that's in a good spot or maybe not be touted as much or talked about, and the ownership's going to be lower, and he's going to have a ceiling day. Okay, so that's what we're getting at. Dak Prescott, great cash quarterback. Great cash quarterback play today. If you're playing cash lineups where you're not going in tournaments and you're not trying to win $1 million or $10,000 or whatever the prize pool is in a big GPP tournament, Dak Prescott's a great play. Okay? Cam Newton's obviously out, so you could look, if you're looking to actually go value in quarterback position, you could go to Kyle Allen today. This game is going to be a super fast-paced game between Arizona and Carolina. I love Kyler Murray today, and I think the field's at around 10% is what I'm seeing for ownership as of right now, roughly. But I personally am not going to have any Kyle Allen. I had him in a few lineups throughout the week earlier when they were saying that there's no way Cam's playing, but I got away from that. So myself personally, no Kyle Allen. Tom Brady, a lot going on in New England. I just like the hat. I like the style of the hat. That's why I'm more or less wearing it. But and it goes with my sweatshirt when I'm wearing. But Tom Brady, again, now you got Antonio Brown out of there. And like I said, I knew there's something more going on with Antonio Brown that still hasn't been figured out yet. But with all his tweet attacks and everybody that he's going after, like I was saying before after the Oakland thing, he actually needs professional help. He needs to see a doctor. Someone in his family, someone close to him, needs to get him checked in because there's something more going on there, and it's really sad. Matt Ryan, this is another interesting play. So you got, obviously, Julio. This could be an interesting stack against the Colts. So you got Julio, you got Calvin Ridley, you got Austin Hooper. Now, Devontae Freeman as well. I'm not a fan of Freeman. He is cheap, and we'll talk about that more when we get to running backs. But Matt Ryan, to me, is an interesting play. I think I have him in one lineup, but I don't mind Matt Ryan today. I think, what do they got him at here? Matt Ryan, just under 3% is what I'm seeing. So right here. So, Drew Brees is out. So you got Teddy B. Carson Wentz would be another interesting stack. Now, we're obviously going to hear a lot of talk. There's going to be Nelson Aguilar, right? He's $4,800 on FanDuel. I think he's 37 or 38 on DK. I haven't been doing much with DK with the NFL season, but super cheap. The problem is his role isn't going to change. Yeah, he's going to get more probably pass attempts. He's still going to be in the slot, but his role isn't going to change with Jeffries out, Alshon Jeffrey and them. So another guy that I like that Let's see, what do they got him at here? Russell Wilson. This guy has been so flipping consistent. Now, is he going to have a ceiling day against the Saints? I don't know. With Teddy B playing, Kamaro's basically going to be their deal there. Michael Thomas, is Teddy B going to be able to get Michael Thomas the ball? I don't know. I do like Russell Wilson. I love it in cash. He would be a cash quarterback for me, but not for GBPs. Now, Josh Allen. Now, when we're looking at a quarterback for me, I personally like quarterbacks that not only have that pass upside, but have that rushing upside. Josh Allen kind of has it all, right? He can scramble out. He gets the rushing touchdowns. And we all know that in DFS, you get more points if you score a rushing touchdown than throwing a touchdown, right? So you do that, you get the upside of the rushing touchdowns. This is a guy that I really like. Between him and Kyler Murray, probably my two top-owned quarterbacks. And honestly, I feel like he can have a career day. That ceiling's there against the Bengals. I love it. Saints going to win this game. And Bengals D. Yeah, Bengals D is trash. Absolutely. Bengals D is trash, guys. Josh Allen, I mean, I don't want to be a game log whore, is what I call it, but, I mean, look at this. He has had a rushing touchdown in both of the games this year. We've seen him put up monster numbers. Do you remember what he did at the end of the year last year? He had like 48 FanDuel points. I see him having that kind of performance today. That's why I love Josh Allen. That's why I'm such a fan of him. It's the rush upside. And he doesn't suck. He's got John Brown now. And John Brown is another guy like I would pair with. Let's see. Where Josh Allen's going to be up there. They got him he's at 7.6%, around 8%. He'll probably come in around 9 or 10 by the time kickoff happens here. But Josh Allen would be a guy that I love. Okay? Phillip Rivers, I mean, you can go there. You could either stack him, Keenan Allen, or him, Eckler, and Allen if you want to do like a stack. I personally don't feel like Phillip Rivers is going to get it done and have a ceiling day against the Texans. I don't see it. I personally don't see it. Now, a lot of guys are talking about Jameis Winston as well, and every single week it seems to be the same thing. Like, it's an easy defense, their defense sucks, yada, yada, yada. Crab legs, until you prove me different, I'm staying away. I had faith in you. I drafted him in some of my season-long teams, and I won't play him. Now, he'll probably turn around and bite me in the butt today, as that usually happens, and have a monster day, but I don't care. I don't care how crappy the Giants are. I don't care how bad their defense is until he shows me something different. Now, if you're going to go there, I would definitely stack with him. I would get Godwin in there. I would get O.J. Howard in there. If you're going to play Winston, that's what I would do. Okay? Jimmy G finally came out last week. I have faith in this guy. I'm a fan of Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm a big fan. Going up against Pittsburgh, they got Mason Rudolph now starting on the other side of the ball. Big Ben's out. Interesting, to say the least. If I go Garoppolo, which I don't have any this week, but he did have a great week last week, and I do see things turning around for him, I'm pairing him with George Kittle. If you want to throw in, the deep threat as well, Godwin in there, you can do that. If you're going to go San Fran, I'm not going there. He's not in any of my lineups this week. I don't see a career week coming out of him against Pittsburgh. Kirk Cousins, you guys already know. We'll get to more of that when we get to Dalvin Cook, but Minnesota has made it very clear that they are going to be a running team. They are going to run the football. Okay? His pass attempts, I think he's had 35. He had like 35 or so. That's not that many. That is not that many. With the weapons that Minnesota has, I think this is an easy game for them as well. Josh Jacobs, who I'm a fan of, the Raiders running back, he's ill, he's sick, he's losing weight. He's gonna play today, but I don't think Carr and them get it done. I think and that's where I'm going to talk about the defense. I love Minnesota's defense today. Yes, I'm a Vikings fan, but they're in a great spot. But again, I'm not going to go to Cousins because they're going to feed it to Cook, right? They're going to give it to Cook. I love Dalvin Cook, as a lot of people do this week, and there's good reason why. But I'm staying away from them. Kyler Murray, I love this spot. This is going to be a fast-paced game. Their no-huddle offense, they have made it very clear that they just want to move. The amount of plays, so here again, we're talking about upside, right? How does a player reach upside? How does a player have that potential? More attempts, right? So attempts at passing the ball for touchdowns, attempts at rushing, him scrambling out and rushing, getting a rushing touchdown, whatever it might be. Kyler Murray is in a prime spot today against Carolina to have a breakout game in his rookie season. So again, I'm a big Kyler Murray fan. Who do I like with Murray? Fitzgerald, Christian Kirk, right? And you could just pair him with one. You could pair him with both. You could do a 3-man stack, right? And who would you run it back with in Carolina? CMC, Christian McCaffrey, who I think McCaffrey and Elliott, I think it's pretty much, here's how I see it, and we'll talk about more, but the running backs, I see it Elliott, McCaffrey, and Cook. Those are the 3 running backs that I see as the top scoring running backs this week, okay? Now, you're going to pay up for them again, right? So your salary is going to be dwindled, but Dalton, no thank you. Stafford, I mean, against Philly, I don't want to go there. He's not in the worst position, but I'm not going to take Stafford. Bridgewater again. I know I got Field Guy in here. He's a Saints fan. I think it's going to be a Kamara day, so a lot of people aren't talking about Kamara. He could be another running back to look at, right? I personally like running backs at home. It's my own deal. They're in Seattle. He could do it, though. It could be a day. Brissett, no thanks. I'm going to kind of speed this up here because we're taking a little too much time. Mason Rudolph's making his debut. We talked a little about him. Daniel Jones is making his debut as well. That could be interesting. The problem is, what's the ceiling there? What is the ceiling there? They're going to probably run the ball a lot, If you go Daniel Jones, you go Daniel Jones and like Evan Ingram at tight end. That's personally what I would do. And then you got Kyle Allen. Did I miss him? You got Kyle Allen as well for Carolina. He's $6,000. But that's where we're at on that. So personally, my take would be on this. I lock in Josh Allen. And between Allen and Murray, that's where I'm going to go. The rush upside for Allen is just too much. Like, he could have 2 rushing touchdowns. He could throw for 3 touchdowns and have 2 rushing touchdowns, or throw for 2 and have 2 rushing touchdowns. Hell, he could rush for almost 100 yards today. I mean, that's what we're looking for when we're going GPP. We want that ceiling game, right? We need the ceiling points. We need the most points we can get out of every player at every position. So it's not just as easy as, this guy's in a prime spot. This is the perfect spot. There's got to be something behind it that tells us that this is the right play. Kamara 35, you heard it? Hey, and Field Guy, that's not a bad take, brother. That's not a bad take at all. The Raiders are going to get the upset. Yeah, maybe. Terrell Williams, maybe. But Josh Jacobs is still not, he's still sick, man. He's losing weight. He's not healthy. I just see Minnesota's defense pulling him down. So, Barkley, let's get over to running backs here. So, here's our ownerships, and these are from highest to lowest for what we have on projections, right? So, we got Elliott, McCaffrey, Eckler, and all these guys are in great spots. Dalvin Cook, David Johnson, which again is going to be in a fast-paced game against Carolina. Again, is he going to have that game? I don't know. I do have him in a few. But Chris Carson, we got Barkley. Barkley coming in just under 13% ownership. Marlon Mack is going to play, so let's just dive into it. So Barkley, if you want to pay $9,200 for him against Tampa Bay, it's perfectly fine. Again, I don't see him having that ceiling game against Tampa Bay. I could be wrong, but at $9,200, I don't see him. I don't see that dollar equating to the upside of capitalizing and maximizing how much you're going to pay for him at that position, right? Christian McCaffrey, again, I love CMC. I love it, especially if you're going to do Murray and you're going to do an Arizona stack by running CMC back. But this lineup, I'm not going to put him in. I do have McCaffrey in some lineups, and I don't mind it. And it could be one of those days, especially with Kyle Allen at quarterback. So the potential is there. Ezekiel Elliott, now this is a guy I feel like possibly could. Now you say the spread is huge, whatever, and we talked a little bit about that with Dak Prescott. This is a different position here, though. This isn't Dak Prescott at quarterback, right? This is the running back. This is the guy that, unless they decide in the third quarter because they're up by 30 points or 40 points that Elliott's not going to run anymore. And at that point, if that's the case, I think Ezekiel Elliott is the big beneficiary or factor of those points, and I think he's going to get there. So I love Elliott. I don't mind CMC. I love Dalvin Cook, guys. Again, remember, we talked about it. They want to run the ball. They want to get Dalvin Cook involved. Last week was supposed to be somewhat tough. What did he do? He broke a 90-some yard touchdown. Just like that. This guy, I mean, let's just look at this again. And, fifth against defense, right? But 32 against the pass. And he does catch the ball. His pass catching ability is another guy, Marlon Mack, right? His pass catch ability is better than Marlon Mack. He's averaging 132.5 rushing yards. Look what he did against the third going into the season. Right? Can he get there? Absolutely, I think he can. Again, Kamara we talked about. Again, field guy. Yeah, Hicks. Burkhead is cheap, but I don't know that I want to put him in there in a lineup for 6 touches. Now that may be wrong, but maybe he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns out of those 6 touches. We'll see. I mean, Carlos Hyde would be another guy for KC. Williams is out. He's $6,000. He's actually, or not Hyde, LaShawn McCoy. Shady McCoy, right? He looks healthy. He looks reborn again. So that'd be another guy at like $6,000. Personally, I want to pay up at running back. The value at running back, I don't think there's enough attempts, there's enough touches for some of these guys at the value they're coming in at. I would rather pay value at receiver, right? I'd rather pay down on receiver. So running back to me is always the most important position. That's how I see it. That's how I play football. So Kamara, again, field guy said it. He could have. This could be a huge monster day for him. And you know what? Nobody's talking about him, really. He's coming in at 7, just under 8% ownership. Nobody's talking about him. So that could be an interesting play against Seattle. They're not at home, though. They are on the road. They're against Seattle, so that's a little bit iffy for me. Le'Veon Bell, no thank you. I mean, Vegas is pretty much telling you. Now, this could be something that, again, out of nowhere, the Jets just decide to show up and something goes completely ass upside down, but I'm not seeing it. So I'm staying away from Bell. I don't have Le'Veon Bell in any of my lineups. Austin Eckler, he's going to be chalky, but he's going to be chalky for a reason. He's $7,600. He's still too cheap for what he's doing. Still too cheap in what he's going at. I mean, look at these numbers. Last week, 20.3. Look at week 1, 36.4. He's catching the ball. He's like a Dalvin Cook. He's catching the ball, or Kamara. 41%. Problem with Kamara is he's got our old boy from Minnesota, Teddy B, in there. We just don't know how that Saints game is going to play out. But again, that's why we play this. We don't know. But look at this. Look at these numbers, guys. I love Eckler, as a lot of the field does. And again, I don't mind putting some chalky guys in at running back because they're chalk for reason, right? Connor against San Fran. I mean, again, he's not being touted or talked a lot about. You could go there. Is he going to have a high upside game, career game against San Fran? I don't think so. Ingram, interesting. They thought he was going to, be the man. And then he kind of got shut down against one of the worst defenses last week. So he's going up against KC again, which is a weak defense. That's a guy you could plug in there at $7,100. I have like 1 or 2 shares of him in my lineups. I'm not going there on this. David Johnson, again, he's in a prime spot. He's in a fast-paced game. I do have him. I do have a little bit of David Johnson in my lineups. My stomach hurts every time I play him. And for good reason, right? For real good reason. He left us, but also go have Taysom in the wild card. Yeah, Dak got too many weapons to throw to for Zeke to run the ball. No, because the problem is, why do they have to throw the ball when they're going to be up 21-0 in the first quarter? There's no reason for them to throw the ball anymore. I don't know. You can play Dak. I mean, Dak's a great play. I personally, I think Zeke is between Zeke, Cook. I think it's Zeke, Cook, Eckler, and then probably Marlon Mack. Kamara is interesting, though. Kamara is very interesting. He's starting to become more and more interesting to me before lock. Marlon Mack is another guy. I think he was in, wasn't he? Checked. Yeah, he is active. So this is another guy in a good spot. They're gonna feed him the ball. I mean, they've made it very clear. 25 and 20, and he did get 3 targets last week. He's still kind of iffy though on that how he's feeling, so be careful with that. Chris Carson's at home against the Saints. He's not in a bad spot. You could go there. I got to speed it up because it's 11:30 already. Aaron Jones. This is a guy was kind of a little on, and I got off. Again, I know the coach said they're going to try to split up the carries more and blah, blah, this and that. I don't think that's really how it's going to play out. I think Aaron Jones is going to continue to perform at a better pace, and I think that they're going to kind of go with what's working. They're not going to try to mix it up a lot. I mean, that's how I see it playing out. I did get off him, though. I don't have him in any lineups anymore. Sony Michel. So Sony Michel, you talk about Rex Burkhead. If I was to do a running back, it's going to be Sony Michel. Because Sony Michel, and they may show me this differently today, but I see Burkhead getting like 6 touches. I see Sony Michel being the main part of the offense out of the backfield. So in my opinion, Sony Michel would be the play to go if you're going to go there. Okay, Kerryon Johnson against Philly. It's not a bad spot. Josh Jacobs, we talked about it. He is still not healthy. He's going to play, but he is not healthy. Joe Mixon, I loved this guy before the season started. I just don't get him. He just hasn't gotten anything really going yet. So, Phillip Lindsay, no thank you. James White, again, that's another guy. Isn't he out? I thought he was out. Yeah, he's inactive. So, Devontae Freeman, again, this could be an interesting play, but Atlanta throws the ball. Like, they throw the ball. So, again, that's where you go back to Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, or throw Julio in there if you want to, and Austin Hooper. I love Austin Hooper at tight end today. That's a great spot. All right, so not Hyde. Who? So, yeah, McCoy is down at $5,500. And he is active today. He's going up against the number 1 rush defense. But if I was going to play somebody, I'd probably play that with the point totals. So I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. Nobody's talking about Kamara, right? So for this lineup, I think we're going to go Cook. We're going to go Kamara. And then in the flex, I'm putting Eckler in. Okay? So this is what we're looking at right now. Now receivers, I am gonna tie Josh Allen to a receiver, John Brown, and I'll go through these. We're gonna have to speed this up a little bit though. I should start earlier because we go a little too much. So I'm gonna put John Brown in there and tie him up. Now we're like, oh crap, we're at 56.75. Well, we still have our tight end and we still have our defense to figure out what we're gonna do. Personally, again, you can go Dallas, you can go Patriots. They have the biggest spread, right? But you're going to pay the most for them, okay? So, if you want to spend $5,000 on the Cowboys or Patriots, awesome, perfectly fine with it. Packers, I actually don't mind the defense against Denver because Denver they haven't shown a ton of offense. The Eagles against Detroit, I don't know. I think Lions are going to put up a fight. I don't know how much defensive points they're going to put up. I mean, they might get a pick six, they might get fumble recoveries, they're going to get a couple sacks. But again, I think defensive-wise, for the price, not paying completely up, I think Minnesota at home against the Raiders is probably the best spot, I feel, as far as the defense for the most upside. So, for the price and for what they can do here. Let's get tight end, and then we'll do our other two receivers to see what we have for salary. So, obviously, Kels again, prime spot, high point total, upside is there. It's $8,000 again, so you have to pay, full price to gain that. And is $8,000 and what kind of point total he can get you in this game? Is it worth it? Is it going to pay off? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Zach Ertz, another prime spot. A little bit way better on the price than Kels, right? Ertz at $6,900 versus the $8,000 price tag. I see these guys being very similar, right? Mark Andrews, he's not 100%. This is a guy I really like. He is going to play. I think they did finally say he's active. Yes, he is active today. I love Mark Andrews today. $6,800. So let's see, what do they got? What's our ownerships coming in at? So Mark Andrews is just under 10%. So you got Ertz at 20, Kittle at 17, Kels at just under 13, Evan Ingram at like 10, Andrews under 10. You got Witten coming in at 5. Darren Waller's interesting against Minnesota, but again, I'm rolling with Minnesota's defense. I think he still is a little too cheap for what he can do. I talked about Austin Hooper. I love this play today, Austin Hooper. I think the upside is there. Again, we talked about O.J. Howard. If you're going to play him with Winston, I would play Howard if you're stacking with Jameis Winston. Okay? That's how I would go. That's what I would do. You do like Kittle. I love Kittle too. $6,600. I think this might be a breakout week for him. So, yeah, that's a great take. I like Jeff Wilson and the running back for the 49ers and the Red Zones. Yeah, I mean, so again, I personally like running backs that are going to get a lot of attempts. I don't like to plug in running backs that we're not clear of, we're not sure, we don't know. That's why I always like to pay up at running back and then pay down at receiver, tight end, elsewhere, and try to get sneaky and find someone that's going to have that high upside. That's in a position where possibly they could have a high upside game. This Hawkinson dude, again, he had a great week one. Very talented. You could roll there if you wanted to. Greg Olsen, I believe, is active. So again, in a fast-paced game, Greg Olsen you could go to. He is cheap. Let's see. I'm getting off kilter here. Ingram, again. Even with Daniel Jones starting, I don't think that affects Evan Ingram at all. So I think Ingram is still a perfectly fine play. Against Tampa Bay with Daniel Jones, is it going to be a 2-3 touchdown day? I don't know. Will he get in the end zone once? Probably. So Hooper, but again, $5,800 for Hooper. Again, I think with the ownership percentage, and I think with the Upside capability, I like it. Will Disley, again, Seattle against New Orleans. I mean, this guy, he'll have a 2-touchdown day. He'll do nothing and have a 2-touchdown day. Again, the target's 2 and 5, right? Let's see, Hooper's at here. This is what I'm talking about, guys. So 2 and 5, 9 and 6. He's getting the passes. Ryan is throwing to him. Okay? He hasn't found the end zone yet this year, but he knows how to get to the end zone. $5,800. I'm a fan of Hooper. Witten, Doyle, you got Ebron, Jared Cook again with Teddy B. I don't know. I'm not bought in personally. So I'm gonna throw Hooper in here. Okay. All right. So receivers, cruise through this again. Talked about liking a Houston stack with Watson. I like Will Fuller today, and again, he'll probably come out and disappoint. But that's why we play, guys. That's why we do it. If we knew who was gonna for sure have the career days and have the best games of the week, there would be no point in this because there just wouldn't be. There'd be absolutely no point in playing. So that's why we play, right? Julio Jones, I already talked about Matt Ryan stacking with the Falcons. You can go either Julio Jones. I like Calvin Ridley over Julio. Let me get my ownership switched here for you. So you see Nelson Aguilar is by far the highest owned receiver, right? I have him in quite a few of my lineups as well. He's $4,800. Is he going to have a big day today? Usually that high-owned, chalky, low-priced player usually disappoints more times than not, don't they? So again, GPP, you can be chalky. We are chalky with Cook. We are chalky with Eckler, right? Kamara's not as high owned as I thought he was going to be, so we'll keep him. We'll roll him with them. But Nelson Aguilar, $4,800. I mean, yeah, it's almost like a free square, right? It's almost like a free square, but it's still $4,800 you got to tie up. So you got to ask yourself again: do you think he's going to get in the end zone? I mean, you need him to get in the end zone, right? You want him to have 7, 8 catches and get in the end zone at least once. And that's what you want. That's what you want from Aguilar. Is he going to do it? I don't know. Kamara, top 5 back. Yeah. Hawkinson will be very good, but a bit inconsistent. Yep, exactly. Love Ingram at tight end. Rookie quarterbacks. Yeah. And that's another thing with Greg Olsen as well. Like, that's why Kyle Allen. It's going to be a fast-paced game. Greg Olsen, I don't mind. What's up, Reds fan? How you doing, buddy? Sorry, I'm kind of... No, he's already active. Mark Andrews is already active. He was 50-50 beforehand, and he is active now. That was touted or put out about, I don't know, half an hour ago or so, 45 minutes ago. All right, so Julio, we're going to go kind of quick. Devontae Adams can always get it done. Is he going to have a ceiling game? Is $8,200? Is he going to pay off that $8,200 in a GPP lineup? I don't know. Michael Thomas, I'm going to stay away from him again. I talked about it with Teddy B. We do have Kamara in here with Teddy B in the helm in Seattle, so I think we'll just roll with Kamara. And I'm not going to touch anything else in that game. If I was stacking, then we would go with like Teddy B at quarterback, Kamara, do like Michael Thomas or another Saints receiver. But we're going to stay away. Keenan Allen is another guy that's in obviously a great spot. He's the second highest owned receiver at just under. He's going to come in probably around 20% or so. So great play, great spot. Second highest owned receiver. Am I going to put him in the lineup? Not in this lineup. Do I have him in a lineup or two? I think I have him in 1 or 2 lineups. Amari Cooper, so if you go with the take of Dak Prescott's going to throw a bunch of touchdowns, then you may be looking at Cooper. You may be looking at Randall Cobb. But the guy I would like the most in Dallas, if I was going to play a Dallas receiver, would be Devin Smith, $5,200. That's the receiver that I would be looking at if I'm playing a Dallas receiver today. At $5,200, Devin Smith would be the receiver I would personally be going after. Antonio Brown, we already know he's probably never going to play football again. If you guys haven't seen all his tweets, if you're not following him on Twitter, I talked about a little bit earlier. He's definitely got some issues going on. And I brought this up after the whole Oakland thing. And I said there's either something more behind it with the organization, or he's a genius to get this move, or he actually needs professional help. And I think he actually needs somebody to take him in. Because, I mean, he's going after everybody. He's bringing up everything. He's basically going to ruin his chances of ever being able to play in the NFL again. And it's sad because he's one of the best receivers. I mean, I don't care if you were a Steeler fan and you hate him because he left or what he's been doing. Regardless of what he's done off the field, we're talking football, one of the best receivers. And it's sad. I mean, it's sad where he's gone. So, Chris Godwin, again, we talked about Tampa Bay. Winston, just crab legs. I can't figure him out. So inconsistent. He makes my stomach turn every time I have him in a lineup. But if I'm going there, I do like Godwin. Evans is not bad either. He's going to be in a great matchup against the Giants. I think he has like 4 or 5 inches on the corner. You could do O.J. Howard as well, but again, we're talking about Jameis Winston here, having to get them the ball. Can he do it? We'll see. Hill's out. Juju Smith-Schuster against San Fran. This is a play I do like. Actually, I like James Washington probably even a little bit more if you're going to go if you're looking for a value receiver. James Washington. Again, Mason Rudolph. I think Mason Rudolph can get it done. Do I think he can put up huge numbers today? I don't think it's GPP worthy personally, but it's my take. T.Y. Hilton, no thank you. I'm not going with Jacoby Brissett. Again, it might burn me. I'm not going there. Sammy Watkins, again, people are going to talk about weather. People are going to talk about this, that, highest point totals. Guys, Patty Mahomes gets it done. I love Sammy Watkins. Again, good measure. He's third. He's the third highest projected ownership receiver with good measure. So, Mike Evans, I just talked about a little bit. Adam Thielen, I already kind of went over my take on the whole Minnesota thing. Is he going to catch passes? Absolutely. Is he going to get in the end zone one time today? Probably, right? He may do more, but he's not going to – I don't think he's going to have that. I think it's Dalvin Cook. They've made it very clear that the offense is going to go or work around Dalvin Cook. So, 4 GBPs, no thank you. Kenny Galladay, this is it. Detroit's in a great spot again, like we talked about before, as far as the defense they're going up against. I talked about Philly's defense. I didn't like them that much. When we talk defenses, I love Marvin Jones today. So if I like one receiver, I love Marvin Jones today. And let's see, where's Marvin Jones even at? Marvin Jones is down here. He's coming out under 4% ownership, right? So Galladay is right way up here. He's just about 12%. So if I'm going to play receiver, I really do like Marvin Jones today. He's in an awesome spot. He's in a great spot. So Marvin Jones may be a guy I plug in. You could go Galladay, though. He's in a great spot, too. I'm just going to pay down. I'm going to save money on that between those receivers. I think Marvin Jones is a bigger day than Galladay today. Julian Edelman, this is an interesting play, right? So we saw what Edelman did week 1. Continued to just be a monster, right? Brady's kind of main go-to on the pass. Then with Brown coming in, they talk about so many weapons, too many weapons, blah, 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 blah. So let's see, what did he do last week? I don't even remember. So he went from 11 targets, he had 6 receptions, to 4 targets, right? He's seen the ball less. Edelman is a guy that is interesting. Now, again, he's like 12th highest projected ownership receiver. But again, for good measure. Now again, the spread's high, whatever. But I don't think it's going to be Burkhead. I don't think it's going to be as much Mitchell when they're going to have that high lead in the beginning of the game. I think it's going to be a lot of Edelman catching the ball. I think it's going to be Edelman in the end zone. Now, do I feel like he's going to have a ceiling game? I don't know. I mean, this is kind of an interesting spot right here. Julian Edelman is a very interesting play. Good luck to everyone, FanDuel fantasy teams. All right, what's up, Camden? How you doing? Amy's tweets are crazy. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. If you guys are actually reading his takes, you will understand that he needs help. Like, this isn't normal. This isn't normal for anybody, unless they have something going on upstairs that needs to be looked at. I'm telling you, I said it after the whole Oakland thing, and people are like, he's just whatever. No, well, yeah, he is, but he needs help. Like, he needs professional help. DeMarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, Robinson. I mean, you could stack it up. Again, to stack it up, though, you're going to pay the highest premium at quarterback for Mahomes. And, Watkins, 71. Will it pay off? Absolutely could, right? I'm probably not going to Robinson. Diggs, again, I gave you my take on Minnesota. I would play Diggs over Thielen, I think, today if I was going to pick one receiver in Minnesota. John Ross. So you could play a Cincy receiver back here, going Allen and Brown. I don't think I'm going to touch Cincy's receivers today. You got Ross and Boyd. Lockett. So you got Lockett. Now, Seattle is interesting, like I said before, when we talked about Russell Wilson. Wilson's been so consistent. Like, Wilson is a great cash running back, I feel, today for cash lineups. Again, he's got that rush upside like Josh Allen, right? But he's just been a monster, and he's been so consistent the first 2 weeks. Now, again, it's small sample size for this year, but he's been very, very, very consistent. Calvin Ridley, again, I talked about my take. Calvin Ridley would be kind of my player over Julio Jones today. And Calvin Ridley, where you at, buddy? Calvin Ridley's down here coming at just under 4%. Again, I'm doing Hooper. I think Hooper is where the play's at $5,800. I'm not playing Matt Ryan in this lineup, so I'm not going to do a stack. But if I was stacking, it would be a Matt Ryan, Ridley, and Hooper lineup. DJ Moore, again, fast-paced game. We don't know what we're going to get out of Kyle Allen. It's still going to be a fast-tempoed pace. It's not going to change because Cam's out. But again, is Cam going to be able to get it done? Is he going to be able to be as consistent of getting DJ Moore the ball? We'll see. That's why we play. Hardman, again, we talked about KC. Tyrell Williams, someone said, in the chat that Carr is, they're going to upset Minnesota. And if they do, this is going to be probably the big factor, like he said, Tyrell Williams. I love Josh Jacobs. I'm a fan. I drafted Josh Jacobs in most of my season-long teams. And I maybe drafted him a little early. I'm a huge fan of Jacobs. And again, today I think if they were to upset Minnesota, it would start here, right? But I'm not going there in this lineup. Jamison Crowder, no thanks. I really don't want anything to do with Jets today, although that might be a play that might win a GBP. Someone might show up, and they're going to have no ownership, like Le'Veon Bell or somebody like that, and that's the kind of things that will win GPPs or win the big money if that actually happens. But that has to happen. So again, that's where people get pushed away, right? Hollywood Brown. I love Hollywood Brown today, $6,100. Depending on who you talk or depending on who you listen to, as you've been listening to different touts and stuff throughout the week, some love him, some hate him. I don't think there's much in between on this guy. But Hollywood Brown is a guy that I do like today. Mike Williams, I'm not the biggest fan. I'd be Keenan Allen. I love Eckler. We already talked about that. Will Fuller, a guy I absolutely love. I talked about this earlier. I do like him. Today I'm going to plug him in. Josh Gordon, again, that's another guy. If you're going to go away from Edelman, but you want to get some of this passing Patriots game in there or players, I would go to Gordman. If you're not going to play Edelman, but my preferred play would be Edelman if I'm going to do it. Sterling Shepard is back. He's healthy. Again, you got Daniel Jones, his first start. I'm going to kind of breeze through here because we're like a few minutes out. John Brown, we already plugged in. We love him. Christian Kirk, again, I talked about Arizona. Fast pace, fast tempo, no huddle offense. I love Kyler Murray. I love Kirk, and I love Fitzgerald today. I love them both. Samuels, no thank you in Arizona. Emmanuel Sanders, I'm a fan of as well today. I think he's going to continue to get it done. I got to be quicker, but I mean, look at 7. He had 7 week 1, 13 targets week 2. I think that trend continues. He'll probably see around 10 to 12 targets. Robbie Anderson, if I was to play a Jet, it would probably be him because he's shown that he's still getting those attempts. They're still throwing him the ball. Sutton, again, you got Samuel. So again, I said I love Marvin Jones down here at 5,400. So Cobb's here. Remember I brought up James Washington. I like him today at $5,200. And then the Dallas Cowboy receiver that I'm a big fan of today is Devin Smith at $5,200. So if you're looking to save some money. So we got 6,700. See who I love Hollywood Brown. Love Ridley. Boyd. Lockett. We got Diggs. Robinson. We might just take a shot. Are we going to leave a little money on the table? You go Hollywood Brown. Metcalf is solid and consistent. He's a great cash receiver. But all of his routes are left side. I mean, he's got the routes he's ran are pretty much, he doesn't do any like deep ball, deep threat. Who should we plug in here for the last one? Yeah, he needs a therapist. Absolutely. Who should we throw in for the last spot here? Or we could get away from Eckler too. We could go Marvin Jones. What's Jones coming up at? We could go C-Mac or Elliott. We could go C-Mac or Elliott. Which one should we do? Elliott or C-Mac? We'll go C-Mac. Yeah, CMC. All right. So there it is, guys. We got 3 minutes. So this is what we built. Josh Allen, Cook, Kamara, Brown, Fuller, Jones, Austin Hooper, McCaffrey, and Vikings D. Boom biggity. Boom biggity. It's taking a minute to think here. What's going on? I see the Chiefs-Ravens as a low-scoring game. Ravens keep it on the ground. Yeah. Yeah, Metcalf's been consistent. I think he's in my cash lineup. But again, he doesn't have that deep threat. Like the break that 90-yarder for a touchdown. All right, what's going on here?
Bro, I don't know what's going on right now. I can't get a rebound.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know if it's because my Wi-Fi is on the lead or what.
Freaking A. Sorry, guys. I got to get this in here quick. Fuller. So weird. It's like it froze. There you go. Now we're in. All right, guys. My opponent in my for fun league has a Metcalf, but I got Lockett. There you go, guys. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. We're gonna get ready to watch some football. I appreciate you guys joining me, and see you next week, guys. Or see you guys in my other streams. Have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace.